Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. My wife had an emotional affair. Okay, this is very difficult to actually type out. My wife had an emotional affair. We both believe it to be my fault. We've been together for 9 years and married for 2 of them. We have a little boy and one on the way. It has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, but over the last 2 years, it has been a pretty bad low. Over the course of late 2019, 2020, and 2021, I have been severely depressed. I kind of ignored the problems because I never thought it would happen to me. I noticed I wouldn't be motivated to shower, and I had an overeating problem. During this time, I was neglecting my wife. I gave her little affection, attention, and the care she deserved. I felt like a husk in denial. She was the breadwinner, and it bothered us both. It didn't help that I was bouncing through job after job due to the pandemic. She felt like she was contributing more than I was in every aspect of our lives. She was right. I was just tired all the time and only felt real joy when I was eating. 2 months ago, she gave me a list of what she needed for this marriage to work. 1. Go to the doctor and discuss depression. 2. She needed better financial stability. 3. More affection. After 2 weeks of fear and procrastination, my doctor's appointment was made and completed. I got diagnosed with major depressive disorder and was placed on medication. I also got this great new job that doubled the amount of money I was bringing home. After 3 days on my medication, it happened. She works third shift. During the day, she sleeps in a dark room. My dog was scratching at the door to get in, so I walked up to open the door. When I did, I saw she was texting someone. When she saw me, she started to close her apps and back out of things. I asked her who she was texting and reached for her phone. Her reaction was to rip her phone away and scream, "Get off me!" I was mad, so I took the dog out. That gave her plenty of time to delete everything. We fought. I didn't want to talk or look at her. She went back to work 2 hours later and just let me have it over text. Told me she wasn't happy and hasn't been happy. Told me that what she needed, I wasn't providing her. Told me that she wanted space. I was sick. I threw up several times that night. Hysterical crying, panic, and jealousy ripped through me. I don't know what came over me other than a desire to snoop. Her MacBook was connected to her iPhone, so I opened it up. The messages were not yet synced. Her call list and her notebook were synced though. I saw that she was talking to her old coworker on the way into work every day for a week. I'll get to him in a minute. I also read some notes. Some of the most concerning was a note to me. Most of it was talking about how she felt trapped and how I haven't been the same person. She had been aware of my depression. She just didn't care because it had been going on so long before I got help. But she said this, "Someone else has made me feel what you once made me feel. Someone else is telling me I'm worthy of happiness. Someone else is making me smile and laugh. Someone else is giving me what I need. This someone has brought to light all that I've been craving. Sweetness, genuine interest, genuine care." She also had a note of questions to ask him. "Are Eskimo kisses okay? Is spontaneous sex okay? How should I let you know I'm not in the mood? Do you enjoy double dates?" It was too much. I stayed up all night crying. She came home from work after her shift and I cried on her while she sat stone-faced. I went to work sobbing and acted normal through the day. I got home and she wanted to go to her parents to clear her head. I hated it. She didn't want to talk. She just wanted space. But I really needed to talk. She ended up going to her friends for the night. I tracked her just to make sure that was where she went. The next day we had a long talk. She told me she was pregnant with our second child. After a lot of talking, she decided that she would give my depression medication time to work and to see where things would go. When we talk about it, she just keeps bringing up how unhappy she was, even though I was depressed and took the steps she asked me to take for our marriage. Now about the other guy. They were coworkers. He is a traveling technician, so they only worked together for a few months. During this time, she talked about him more and more. He is a highly functioning autistic man who has no real friends or anyone to talk to. My wife liked him enough to want to be his friend. I had absolutely no problem with it. She spent 2 hours doodling his name, and I didn't care because I trusted her. Since then, they talked about our marital problems and about how depressed she was. She helped him with his problems, and he helped her. Just all of this behind my back. This is another major problem on why it is my fault. I have a kink of wanting to have a threesome with my wife and another man. Strictly her and him with me on the other end. That's all I want to say about the kink. Before this all happened, during sex, I would ask her who she would want to do it with, and she brought him up. Awesome. I wanted to see where it would go, so I told her to talk to him about it. I just wanted transparency and to be part of the conversation. With that being said, that's not what happened. She sent him a butt picture and didn't tell me his reaction. She became emotionally involved with him and started to hide it. It wasn't what we discussed, and it crossed a line. I get it. You can't create a monster and then get mad when they destroy a couple houses. It just hurts. Since all this happened, I've been on my medication for a month and feel night and day better. She has told me numerous times that she sees the improvement and is happy. Now that I'm on the right path and am feeling genuine joy again, I can see where I was really neglectful all those years. The only problem we have at this point is that she still talks to him. She plays games online with him, but she tells me every time and doesn't try to hide it. She also still talks to him about life and things. She says that he is suicidal and is just hurting, so she doesn't want to just cut out her good friend just because of all this, even though I made it clear that it hurts me and makes me jealous and paranoid. We've been good for the last 2 weeks, affectionate, we hold hands and crazy good sex. She flirts with me over text. She knows about how I tracked her and turned off her tracking on both Snapchat and Find My iPhone. She also disconnected her MacBook from her phone so I couldn't check anymore. She wants privacy and trust again. It's just hard sometimes. Anyway, that's it. I did my best to give both sides of the problem. I'm sorry it was a wall of text. Thank you for reading it. I know my mistakes. I'm trying to do better. Update. I took what everyone said on here to heart. Thank you all for just taking the time to discuss it. Last night, she was falling asleep in our love sack, so I decided to move into the bedroom and get our son down for the night. She woke up to tell me that she wanted to play games on her Switch, and she was going to stay awake longer. She came in the room and helped me get the baby ready for bed. When I finally got in bed, I told her that I was afraid and sad about everything that happened. All she said to me was, "Okay, good night." That's when I got on here finally and saw all of the replies. After reading it all, I decided to set my alarm for 1 hour to make sure that if she was talking to him, there would be evidence and I would demand to see her phone. After the hour, I came out and she was asleep in the love sack again. The first thing she told me when she saw me was that she was trying to come up with a D&D character and fell asleep. We have never been into Dungeons & Dragons, so I knew immediately that she was only doing it because she was talking to him. Keep in mind that she was talking to him openly in front of me, and I knew it, but still, it was enough to set me off. I demanded to see her phone. She would not let me have it. She opened the web browser and showed me her D&D research, and then I grabbed her phone. She let me see their text thread. She deleted all previous messages from him, and when I asked why, she said it was because she always kept her text threads tidy. I opened her friend's text thread, and it went back a long time, so that was a lie. I went to open Snapchat, and then she screamed at me and jumped at me. She got the phone out of my hands and locked it. I got it back after a while of talking and crying. I saw that she changed her passcode, so I threw her phone into the love sack and started packing. I told her that she can't talk to him anymore. I told her that she couldn't maintain a relationship with him. She broke down crying because she didn't want to lose me or her best friend. I felt bad, but I was firm. After fighting and crying and sobbing, she had a panic attack. I put her in bed and calmed her down. I told her we would try to work things out. This morning, I wanted to talk again, but she wanted to go to her friend's house to have some fun before her work week started. She told me that she didn't want me to see the Snapchats because this dude was her best friend on there and they had a streak going. Then she said that she had messages saved in their chat that she wasn't ready to share with me at that moment. She told me he said he liked her eyes and her smile, so she saved the message. And she said she had a message where he said that he wished she wasn't married. She also said that she confides in her girl buddies about her relationship and she didn't want me to see it. We fought again and she went to her friends. She shared her location to the place in good faith, but she stopped sharing it when she got there. I don't know what to do at this point. I want to see a marriage counselor before I pack my bags, but that won't be for almost 2 weeks. First reaction from Nero Aldrin 20. You are 50% responsible for the marriage. She is 100% responsible for her affair. Don't take responsibility for her stepping out of her vows. 19 Tired of it all chimes in. You're being gaslit, big time. While there's no doubt you could have done things differently and better in your relationship, but that's no excuse for her stepping out of the marriage. She cheated, and that fact is not only being ignored, you're being blamed for the affair and you're accepting it. So you can no longer track her, see what she's up to. This will not end well for you. Reconciliation only works if there's remorse on the cheater's part and complete transparency. Neither is happening in this relationship. Our next reaction from Judgmental Panda. Were you a bad husband? Sounds like it, although typically a crappy relationship requires both parties to suck. However, when she wasn't happy, she had 2 options to confront that problem: fix it or leave. She cheated. What does cheating do to address the problem? Nothing. So why is it being tossed out as a reason? It's a really head scratcher. I'll give you that. Not to mention it sounds like she cheated before even trying to fix it, and I wouldn't be surprised if what you found out is only the tip of the iceberg, if I'm being honest. Why? Because she isn't remorseful. She is allowing you to take blame for choices she made. She is allowing you to feel guilty when she continues contact with the affair partner. She is allowing you to feel unjustified for not trusting her. All of this suggests she doesn't care about your feelings, and if this has been going on for a while, who is to say that this affair partner is the first? Who is to say that what you uncovered is all that happened with this affair partner? Even if it is all the truth, it is just as true that she is continuing the affair with the affair partner. I don't think I've ever heard of a cheater staying in contact with their affair partner but not having an affair with them anymore. Here's all I'll say after because I really think you should be posting this on r/as1after-infidelity. The odds of successful reconciliation here are close to nil. Reconciliation requires remorse. She doesn't have it. Stack on top of that the fact that beyond sweeping it under the rug, you are actively blaming yourself. I guarantee you that one day, be it that in a month or a year from now, it will finally click that it isn't your fault. At that point, if she is still not remorseful or annoyed you are bringing up things about the past, you will become the one who is unhappy with the relationship. The difference will be that on top of being unhappy with the relationship, she will have a past history of cheating on you. No idea how that will play out though, but imagine not well. Moving on. Wife cheated on me while I was deployed. Has anyone here been able to rebuild the relationship after infidelity? Hi everyone. I'm new here and really need words of advice. My wife and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5 years, and have 2 beautiful kids together. I left on a deployment and came back to news of my wife cheating on me with my best friend that also lives with us. My best friend, obviously not my best friend anymore, was the person that actually told me that him and my wife were having sex, about 5 to 7 times, while I was gone and said he felt bad about it. I confronted my wife, and she initially tried to pretend like she didn't know what I was talking about, but then immediately stopped pretending and we had a long conversation. She said she fell out of love for me while I was gone, but once I returned from deployment and saw me again, she was excited for me to come back and everything seemed normal. She said she wasn't in love with the other guy, but felt like she was getting there, as well as thought of possibly leaving me for him. When we talk now, she tells me that she's very sorry, told me pretty much everything about what actually happened in detail, and wants to rebuild our relationship and trust. From my side of the story, I wasn't all there in our relationship. I wasn't very attentive, and I wasn't good with helping take care of our kids, although I'd like to note that I still take care of them. I just didn't do nearly as much as she did. I understood that completely, and I even knew that about myself for a long while, and I feel like I'm to blame for this whole issue. However, I didn't think our relationship was really failing, at least not bad enough to think about cheating. My wife said it was very obvious to her that our marriage was failing, but I never saw it at all. We always talked normally, and even during the time frame when she was having sex with the other guy, our text message conversations were still about how much we love each other and can't wait for me to get back from deployment. From what I've gathered, she felt lonely, and since the guy lived with us in our home, he was always helping out around the house while I was gone, and he filled that void while I was gone. Also, what I've gathered, we both really want to be with each other and work out our issues, but I can't help but think that I'm being tricked, although she hasn't given any indication of this. We've both had long sessions of crying to each other, and I feel like she's being genuine, but I still can't shake the feeling. I'm still deeply in love with my wife and don't want to leave her, but sometimes I feel like I'm being stupid and not realizing that maybe it just won't work out or something. I typically forget to think about myself and my feelings, and this is why I'm here posting this. I'm afraid of getting hurt this badly again. I guess all I'm asking for is it even worth it to rebuild my relationship? Has anyone here been cheated on but managed to rebuild? First response from Saronix. Your ex-friend confessed willingly, not your wife. She only did so once cornered. She then resorted to trying to mitigate her role. Think on that. Sunk cost fallacy can be difficult to look past. Next response from DeepXYX111. From my point of view, get your things in order and leave. It's for your own good. Otherwise, if you want to stay with her then, all the best. r/as1after-infidelity can help you more. Cap 2007 chimes in with, your wife in your home with your best friend and her excuse is because you weren't there? That is unforgivable in my book. What do you think is going to happen on your next deployment? It also sounds like you're accepting of why it happened. Why couldn't she just talk to you instead of opening her legs to another man? Our final comment comes from Fine Cannabis Grower. I even had a revenge affair. We did reconcile and are still together almost 20 years later. I do not recommend this whatsoever. I never regained the level of trust necessary. Why do this to yourself? Better to say, I'm not leaving because you cheated. I'm leaving because I can never trust you again. You don't have to hate her, but you should save yourself from this.